In this video, I'm going to tell you about 5 of the biggest tourist traps here in Berlin and some alternatives to them. So I hope you enjoy it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. Berlin has some really great things to do as a tourist. I still love seeing the Brandenburg Gate and strolling my way through Museum Island to Alexanderplatz. But in my opinion, there are some huge tourist traps that you really should avoid. But I'm not just going to tell you what to avoid, I'm going to give you some great alternatives to them. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button and make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. Is it really possible to believe that after over 30 years since the fall of the wall, there are still pieces of it that can be sold as relics? No. The answer is no, it is not possible. Any piece of the wall that you buy is just going to be some concrete from a construction site, so don't be fooled. Don't buy these things. It's not really the wall. Also, do you really need that fake Soviet military cap? Are you actually ever going to wear this? Are you going to put it on display somewhere in your house? No. Chances are you are not going to do any of those things, so avoid buying these things. So instead, why don't you take a stroll through the small weekend art market on Museum Island. You can find some great art from a local artist that will mean a whole lot more to you than just some trinket you get that is a fake piece of the wall. If you're not here during the week, there's plenty of art and things from local artists that will mean a lot more to you. I mean, if you really want something that screams Berlin, get a coffee mug with the Ample Man on it. I mean, at least that is real, and that is something that is truly Berlin. Avoid the pieces of the Berlin Wall, avoid the Soviet junk, and get something from a local artist or get something with the Ample Man on it. While we're on the topic of the Berlin Wall, I personally think that the Berlin Wall Museum can be avoided. Instead of going to the Berlin Wall Museum, go to the Berlin Wall Memorial. A lot of people sleep on it and it's really excellent.
But you never loved someone. But you never loved somebody like I just did. But you always hurt the ones you say you're so deep in love with. You don't know nothing, 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 nothing. You don't know what it feels like. Baby, I'm hurting, 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 hurting. And you don't even ask why I'm staying up all night. I haven't slept since you came into my life. Why I'm drinking all the time. Why I'm feeling lonely when you're here by my side. I just want something, 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 something from you that feels right. But I know nothing, 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 nothing will do, not this time. You tell me that you care for me, but I don't think it's true. You say I know you got, but baby, all you got is you. You promise me you're everything, but never see it through. I don't think you truly love me. If you did, you wouldn't hurt me. Hate it when you call.
It's really quite remarkable, and you can envision better the lives of the people that lived on both sides of the wall. It may not have the digitally interactive part that the museum has, but what can be more interactive than physically standing on the place where the wall is, seeing the buildings that were torn down so the wall could be built, seeing an entire cemetery that had to be moved to put the wall up. What can be more interactive than that? Also, it's free, and I always like free. And I'll put a link to the map locations of all these places in the description. Visiting the Wall Memorial works really well in conjunction with my next suggestion. The DDR Museum is actually a pretty decent museum, and it wouldn't make my list except for one reason. There is another museum that is almost exactly the same in the Cultural Brewery, and it's free. The DDR Museum isn't cheap, it's like 14 or 15 euros to get in. Not only is the museum at the Cultural Brewery really good, it's in a really cool area that used to be a brewery. Plus, it's absolutely free. And like I said before, I love free. Yes, you can sit in the driver's seat of a Trevi, but the exhibits are really great and very informative. And I think a trip to the museum at the Cultural Brewery is definitely worth it. Plus, you get to see another part of East Berlin outside of Mitte that I always recommend. The view from atop the TV tower is really nice, but there's one thing missing from it. You can't see the TV tower because you're in it. Instead, go to the viewing terrace at the Park Inn, just across Alexanderplatz. For another option, go to the top of the Victory Tower in Tiergarten. If you want to get really adventurous, head to the Teufelsberg Spy Station in Grunewald. You'll have a great view of the city, and it's a really cool art exhibit as well. Okay, now we come to number 5, the most overrated site in Berlin, and possibly the most overrated thing here in Germany, and that includes Neuschwanstein. And yeah, I said it, Neuschwanstein is overrated. Come at me. Checkpoint Charlie takes the cake here in Berlin for the most overrated thing in Berlin. Today, everything about this historical site is fake. None of the original structure of Checkpoint Charlie remains. This Disneylandish place is just a selfie factory surrounded by overpriced tourist trap food places and souvenir trinket stores. In case you want to see the original guardhouse, you'll have to go to the Allied Museum in Zehlendorf. Now, if you're really interested in more than just a selfie in front of Checkpoint Charlie, and you want to know more about the city's Cold War history, go to the Trainenpalast at Friedrichstrasse S-Bahn station. It was the interior border control for leaving the DDR by train, and now it's set up as a great museum. Another great site you can see is the Stasi prison in Hohenschönhausen, or the Stasi Museum in its former headquarters. Now look, I get it. When you're here on vacation, you only have a limited amount of time, and you want to stay centrally located and see all the things there are to see. But taking the time to wander a little bit outside the city center and venture out can really lead to some great memories and some great adventures. If you've been to Berlin, what do you think are some of the most overrated tourist places that you saw? Let me know in the comments. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. Until next time guys, I'll see you later.
Every single